Wow. Hit there. Hit. Hit it. First shot, 400 yards.
It's the battle of the 30 caliber Titans. We have the 300 Winchester Magnum, the current king of 30 caliber Magnums, versus the up and coming 300 PRC. Which one's faster? Which one's more accurate? Which one's better for you? Come find out.
The year was 1963. 62 years ago, Winchester needed to do a response to the up-and-coming Remington 700 rifle in the brand new 7mm Remington Magnum, which was introduced a year before. Winchester introduced a home run that year. The 300 Winchester Magnum. Parent case to this is the 375 H&H, and what Winchester did was shortened to 375 H&H. And what makes this a little bit different than other cartridges is just how short the neck is. Very short neck. What Winchester was trying to do was put this in a long action, not a magnum action like the 375 H&H or the Weatherby cartridges. They wanted it to fit in most guns, and then they wanted to increase the case capacity as much as possible. So they shortened that neck so that they could lengthen this pretty long, and it does have quite a bit of case capacity. And when you hand load this thing is an absolute powerhouse. Let's go ahead and look at the performance. Let's start with a 150 grain. You're looking at 3,300, 165, 3,200 feet per second. 180 grain, this is really traditionally the sweet spot for a 300 Win Mag. 3,100 feet per second, impressive performance. Now today, the heavier bullets are what are popular. A 200 grain at 2,900, I think you can actually get close to 3,000 feet per second. This 212 ELDX at 2,800. We're going to double check this in GRT, but I do think you can get a little bit more, possibly 2,900 feet per second with a 212 ELDX. Very versatile, extremely powerful cartridge. 2018, Hornady introduced their 300 PRC. The 300 PRC parent case is the 375 Ruger. All Hornady did was take the 375 Ruger and neck it down to 30 caliber. Same exact case size. And honestly, you could really say the 300 PRC is a modern 300 Win Mag. So what do we mean by modern? Well, there's no belt, obviously. And then just like in the 6.5 Creedmoor and the other PRC cartridges, this has been optimized to have the correct length so that your bullet's not eking into the powder capacity. You have more potential in velocity. You're getting the most out of this case. Now, one of the downsides to that is you now have to go to a Magnum length action. Your length is going to be like 3.7 inches instead of 3.340 like the 300 Win Mag. Let's go ahead and look at the performance for the 300 PRC. You'll be surprised at how close these are, and especially when I go into GRT, you're going to see that they're extremely close in performance.
If you're looking for a quick, accessible hidden gun cabinet, look no further. Bellwood Designs makes excellent hidden gun cabinets that look incognito. They unlock via these magnetic keys, and it'll unlock the magnetic latch within. Then inside is pluckable foam that you can cut out to any shape or size to conceal your firearm. To purchase one of the hidden gun cabinets, check the shopping carousel below and use promo code BulletsForBucks to save, or go to bellwooddesigns.com.
Let's go to a 180 grain. Not many people are probably shooting 180 grain, but Hornady says with reloader 26, 3,200 feet per second. 200 grain bullet, we got 3,025. That's good. A 212, topping out at 2,950. It's serious. Now, the 300 PRC does come SAMI spec with, I believe it's a 1.8.5 twist, so you're going to be able to shoot the heaviest bullets. You're going to be able to shoot heavy mono bullets in a 300 PRC, but we're looking at a 225 grain, 2850, and of course the 250 grain A-tip with this faster twist, 2700. I'm going to be honest, I think this is the best PRC.
So what we want to do is find which one actually has the most water capacity. So we're going to start with the 300 PRC. Now, to note, different brands of brass are going to have different types of capacity, but they should roughly be about the same. Let's go ahead and zero the 300 PRC. End result for 300 PRC, we are exactly 94 grains. We're going to go ahead and do the same to the 300 Win Mag. I wanted to show you what Gordon's reloading tool is. We call it GRT. It is a software program. It's basically a modern reloading book, something I really rely on. You can put in the cartridge, the bullet, the powder, your barrel length, the case volume, which I just measured at 89.4, and you can get a rough estimate of what your top velocity is going to be with that specific bullet and powder. So for 300 Winchester Magnum with Vitivori N565, we're looking at a top velocity with the 212 ELDX at 2950 feet per second. That's really impressive. Now we're going to look at the 300 PRC with that 94 grain water capacity, 26-inch barrel as well, same 212 ELDX, and the exact same powder, N565. And at 65,000 PSI, you're looking at roughly 3,010 to 3,015 feet per second. So you're looking at 50 to 60 feet per second advantage when you have a 300 PRC. Let's look at the ballistics. With the 212 ELDX with a muzzle velocity of 2,950 feet per second, we're looking at almost 4,100 foot-pounds at the muzzle for the 300 Win Mag. Very impressive. Out to 400, bullets going 2406, 2,726 foot-pounds. We'll just take this out to 800, 1,925 feet per second. Your energy is still well above 1,500 foot-pounds, 1,745 foot-pounds. That 5.01 is mils in drop. And then with a 10 mile per hour wind, that's 1.19 mils adjustment. Now let's take a look at the 300 PRC with that same bullet, going 3,010 feet per second, 4,266 foot-pounds, 400 yards, the bullet's going 2459 feet per second, and we have 2,848 foot-pounds. 800 yards, bullet's going a little bit faster, about almost 50 feet per second faster. And then you have 1,830 foot-pounds, so almost 100 foot-pound advantage. Now, the drop, not a huge difference, 5 mils compared to 4.78, and then in wind drift, they're basically identical.
Wow. There. Hit. Hit it. First shot, 400 yards.
In the beginning of the video, I mentioned accuracy. Which one's really better? If you took 10 factory rifles chambered in each of these, which cartridge is most likely going to shoot better than the other one? I think it's going to be 300 PRC. Now, I'm sure all of you are aware that the 300 PRC has a tight tolerance chamber, which is true. It does help with its accuracy. It is not the end-all be-all. Let me just say that. However, the 300 Win Mag has one of the most loose, awful SAMI-spec chambers there is. That doesn't mean you can't have an accurate 300 Win Mag. All I'm saying is, on average, you are going to get better accuracy out of a 300 PRC because of how the chamber is set up. The big question is, which one's better for you? I think it comes down to factory ammo. If you are solely a factory ammo shooter, no doubt, get a 300 Winchester Magnum. The 300 Win Mag has so much more factory ammo options and is so much more readily available than the 300 PRC. 300 PRC is slowly getting better, but as of now, you only have a handful of options, including this Precision Hunter that you see behind the bullets. If you are a hand loader, honestly, you can't go wrong with either one. There is a slight advantage in 300 PRC in velocity and potentially accuracy, but The 300 Win Mag has been doing it for so long and is just a darn good cartridge. You really can't go wrong with either one. If you were to ask me which one I would pick between these two, I'd probably have to pick 300 PRC. As I said before, I think the 300 PRC is the best PRC, and I'm a big 30 caliber Magnum fan.
Thanks for watching Bullets for Bucks. Check out this next video and subscribe.